Hola clase. So, see my hair sticking out. I didn't prep much for this, but I kind of decided that the Fondo Cultural that I would like to talk about today is probably best just talked about. So I decided to record a video. So, if you open your books, abran sus libros to página 66, page 66. There is a Fondo Cultural about amigos. Amigos. We all know what amigos are. So it says at the top of page 66, ¿Qué es un amigo? What is a friend? So Marcos is a Costa Rican student on an exchange program in the United States. Okay, so he's from Costa Rica. He's here in the U.S. as an exchange student. Fortunately, because of coronavirus this year, we don't get to have exchange students, which is always just a fun experience. But anyway, so this is Marcos in this hypothetical world. He writes, when I arrived in the United States, I was amazed at all the friends my host brother and sister had. They knew a lot of people. These friends came to the house frequently, and we went out in groups. People were very open when meeting me. We'd spend some time together, we'd get to know each other in a short amount of time. And once you know them, you ended up talking about everything. So let's talk about a few points that he discusses here. He was amazed at all the friends his host brother and sister had. They knew a lot of people. The friends came to the house frequently. They all went out together in groups. They're very open to meeting him. Once they got chatting, they got to know each other pretty quickly. Okay, so that is his experience from Costa Rica coming to the United States. Now, Brianna is a United States student, so she is from here, and she went on an exchange program in Colombia. So this isn't exactly Costa Rica to U.S. to Costa Rica. So the first guy was from Costa Rica. This girl went to Colombia. So she's going to Colombia. And she says, after I spent a year in Colombia, I learned that the concept of friendship is a little different than in the United States. My host brother and sister spent a lot of time with their family. They knew people at school and from after school activities, but they had just a few close friends, and we do things with them. It was definitely a smaller group than I was used to. It seems that it took longer to become close friends with people too. So she is talking about a pretty contrasting situation. Now, we know friendships are all different, no matter what country you're in, and it depends a little bit on your personality. But she's sending a contrast here that the family that she lived with stayed a lot with their family. So it wasn't like friends with these teenagers. They stayed at home a lot with their family. They knew a few people and they did hang out. It's not that they didn't have any friends at all, but they kept their group pretty small. She says it seems like it took a long time to get close to people. So, in contrast, the Costa Rican who came to the United States said, once I got to know people, man, we just talked about everything. So, this is a little bit contrasting, and maybe that those friendships were a little more guarded in Colombia. So, it says in Spanish, there two expressions are used to frequently describe friendly relationships: un amigo, which means a friend, and un conocido, which means an acquaintance. You already know the word amigo, so we know what amigo means. But conocido comes from the verb conocer. So that's not really a verb that we're officially learning, but it does come from the verb conocer, which means to meet someone. Each expression implies a different type of relationship. So if we kind of break this down into, this is why I wanted to just explain this to you instead of try to spit it out to you in a Google form or something in written words. This idea of an amigo, we know what our amigos are. We know what friends are. So friends are the people, and hopefully, I hope that you have friends. Friends are the people that you spend time with outside of school. Friends are the people who, they know who your parents are and you know who their parents are. The people who maybe you invite along on a vacation with you, or that you invite over to your house and play video games with, or they're the person that you text on the side, and they kind of already know your backstory. So I hope for you that you do know those kind of people and that you're aware of those kinds of relationships. A conocido is a little more like, let's talk social media, or school. So a little more like somebody who's in your first hour, and so you know them, and maybe if you saw them at the football game, you would say hi, or you kind of wave at each other, but you're not really friends. Okay, conocido means to meet someone. You're more like acquaintances. Okay, so maybe you're friends on social media, but you don't really hang out in real life. You've never texted this person, that sort of thing. So it's just a little bit of a contrast. And in Spanish, they're just saying they have a different word for that. So they have a different word for that type of friendship, and it's called un conocido. So one way or another, I will get you. I'm not going to hold up the culture notes. I don't really know. I didn't have a plan for how to share the culture notes with you. So maybe I'll type them up into the comments or the post when I post this video. Adios.